Hi, I'm wanting to take another look at the crash um, that occurred with the Trish James Investigative Deck. As you guys know, I love me some Trish James decks. And I just saw recently that uh, because two of my faves, Linda G and Marianne from Revealing Light, and Linda G was using one of Trish James's decks. I thought, oh, I'm so stoked that she's knows about them, and she got really good readings with them too. I must get in touch with Linda and try to have her on, but I kind of avoid doing it because I know she's busy with a lot of people, and But anyway, um, let's just take another look with this investigative deck and see if we get anywhere with it. Anything that might echo my reading with the regular tarot. And then I have another oracle, the Trish James Oracle, I wanted to use with it. And I know I have a few others. I just need to get them all organized. I have a lot of organizing to do, and I am getting a set of movable um, drawers for my makeup so I can take them out of my stuff, put it all in there, get rid of a bunch of free up space. And also, I'm going to do that for, I think, my cards as well. But first and foremost, I'm working on the closest areas to me and the main things I want to get. One of the main things. There's so many. But anyway, so let's just see. Looking at that crash again, why didn't the now I hear that there was no response from the helicopter pilot and they were out doing an annual kind of an exercise, and it was the co-pilot would have been probably flying, and it was supposed to be really clear. And the last thing that the tower, has from their audio is them requesting it. And even the request apparently is odd amongst pilots. The request for visual separation, usually, I guess the way you would phrase that wouldn't be that. It would be you would be asking the tower if you could get, I guess, visual separation versus using the instruments or something like that. It's about being able to see, put your eyeball on the craft, being able to, and so the request was just kind of off, and had a lot of pilots on Reddit saying that phrasing is just peculiar. He shouldn't be having to ask in that way. It would be something that the tower should be authorizing. Uh, Anyways, it was odd, stood out as odd. And I did hear him request, the recording did say that he was saying the word, and I heard him say it, request visual separation. And that was the last they were to be heard from before the crash happened, as you saw, where the um, pilot continued right into the side of the plane. It's hard to believe that he could not see the plane, but it's possible something about the lights not being lit up in that area or something. I don't know. Or again, there was a delayed reaction. Maybe the guy was just tired, uh, and had not been sleeping well or something, because we did get also that nine of wands. I'm sorry, nine of swords. So that fatigue with the nine of wands and the potentially again with uh the swords, the nine. Hmm. Maybe a lack of proper rest and feeling anxious, maybe just like an anxious mistake. But I do feel like the cut to funding looks like it definitely has a related link to it. Otherwise, those cards, I just realized looking back at the video, Trump shows up in the video with the or the cards that I have for him, the as the King of Swords and the King possibly also of Pentacles. But that could also be uh, a reference to the uber wealthy business people, the oligarchs, and him trying to make himself independently wealthy. That shows up. So I think the cards were giving me more than one person, just like a bird's eye look. So I have to consider that. Um, that I'm getting a combination of various people. Sometimes it's hard to tell if I should direct it or not. So sometimes it's just best to say, well, this is the energy. So I thought I would try with this deck. Okay. So we go, let's just take a look. Let's just take a look. Is there, sorry, my oldest came in and kind of threw me off. Is there, what do we need to know? What caused this accident? How come the pilot in the helicopter didn't see or respond? What do we need to know? I'm just curious if they could not, for some reason, what their distraction was, if they were distracted or just tired and delayed. That's all possible. But what went on? Why was there a delay in response? Could the pilot not see? And the others with him, could they not see it? Because they're supposed to have really good visual. What went on? And I asked my guides to help me to understand how these all fit together clearly and accurately. All right. Missing, searching. Okay, so this makes me feel like perhaps he didn't see the plane and he was looking for it, and maybe the lights, maybe in particularly, maybe he was looking for lights and he wasn't seeing them. Maybe the part of the plane that was in front of him wasn't lit up enough, and in that moment, he didn't see it. And this is paired with media or social media. Well, there is, video, a number of different angles and shots of video of the incident. And strategy and planning is shown here, combined with accident. That planning, the card of the Seven of Pentacles did come up in the tarot reading. But there's something about the strategy or planning. And there's too much traffic, I guess, around that area. You have that mixture, and it's only getting worse, apparently, from what I understand around Reagan Airport. Delays or sacrifice. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep that open. Um, there was some delay showing that the strategy caused an accident. Well, they say that the helicopters don't have always, or they may not have at all, which I kind of find it hard to believe, but I don't know anything about aircraft, a tracking system. Some of them don't have the radar. And I thought, what? But anyway, there's some things that they aren't always equipment wise, have, in the vehicle, so, or the craft. So maybe that's part of the issue here. Okay. Cover up or tampering. Okay. Paired with tied up or restrained. Cover up or tampering. Well, that could be the funding. Inside job taken out. I hope that's not somebody intentionally having a crisis and doing something, and we're getting the domestic abuse and lashing out card. Okay. It's oddly lining up with the things I was picking up, where it felt like it was speaking about someone's personal life, potentially, and there being an issue. So, recorded here and digital footprint. I think the answers are going to be able to at least be figured out. And there's mental struggle here, yes, or an illness going on. And there's a hidden or unclear. They may not know, or it may not be exactly clear if there was something like that going on. We certainly can figure out from 47s, F47s behavior that that's definitely part of his issue. But I really hope that this person was not in crisis and having distraction or a dark thought. There's the digital footprint, maybe looking at definitely this person's phone and communications, maybe to see, just double check and see what state of mind they were in. And certainly with Trump's most recent weird comment blaming diversity, and people that have various means of disabilities but are perfectly capable of carrying out a job. It's he's a projector, so it makes me be very suspicious of that. Purposefully disappeared, and they're innocent. To me, again, this is like acknowledgement of the innocent people that had lost their lives as a result of someone's intentional, it looks like, um, choice and choices to put money over safety and cutting funding of very important safety with air, especially in highly congested airports. So, you know, I would I would be suspicious of what it is they will try to blame from F47's cuckoo, you know, cabinet. It would either be a projection of his own fears and likely exaggeration meant to perhaps disproportionately blame one person having issues for a whole diverse kind of disabilities and issues, and no two are the same. It's the repeat of that kind of behavior. Let's see, since I was distracted, let me just see. Was this a deliberate act on the part? I mean, I don't know now. I think there's a good chance that this person may have been having these issues and just been under strain. And the cruelty might be the part of Trump's cuts to the funding of safety. This person may have just been fatigued and they may have had these issues, but it may not have been that they intended to end it. I'm trying to be mindful and inclusive of possibilities because I do feel like we get a mixture of issues. It's like it's not just one thing. You have the cutting of the funding and people's focus on wealth in our government that should be focused on safety. And then you have people that, um, when that are the people that are the hanged man, the sacrifice because of the lack of safety. And maybe if there hadn't been those cuts, maybe there would have been a fresh person there to catch this or something. I don't know. But the cards are saying to me, there's a greater responsibility. And it's going to come up, I think, in court. Perhaps people will be suing because of these cuts. They should, if they can. Let's just see. Was this a deliberate act or was this an accident? Well, it did say accident, didn't it? It did say accident earlier. So I'm gonna go with that, but let's just see if we can get any further clue. Was this just a person that was just going through a lot of hard stuff and struggling, but didn't intend to do this, and it was just an accident, a horrible accident? Heavy burden carried. I think so. This is somebody under feeling a tremendous amount of pressure, tied or restrained. They felt like they um, really were restricted in some fashion. Perhaps if they didn't get it, maybe that's what the burden would be. Put in a room or place. There is a connection. I think they were somebody was definitely concerned about not getting this. And it was a critical thing. It was what do they call that? Some sort of certification for the co-pilot. Accomplice or had help. Powerful person involved. To me, this is the powerful people involved in here. And to me, there is a connection between those cuts and the ripple out effect. There's even, well, that's just a tower there, but authority. Again, we have authority. That's Trump. Running out of time. So, running out of time. Authority that's running out of time. Well, that confirms what not only Linda G, but myself, I don't know about Marianne. I think she doesn't think he would be in there terribly long either, not the full 4. I feel like this is probably a nod to that it's things like this that are going to bring an end to his time. And it could be that people just say, you're a disaster, get out of here. We, impeach, whatever. Confrontation. I think this is by the people, the families. And I think as more information and things are put together, a greater understanding with more time passing by, I think fight conflict. I think that they will confront about why this happened, that it's not going to be allowed to slide. Recorded. Again, there is like dark web or something that is recorded. I would just take this to mean like some sort, not only of the accident that happened, but perhaps these are things that are very damning as far as emails or communications that showed flagrant disregard for the taking out safety, rails, the guardrails, so to speak. Repeat offender, that's certainly true. Tunnel or underground. Trying to hide things. And definitely trying to hide things. Put things out of reach, put things in secretive places, not make things easy to access. And tunnel or underground, repeat offender. To me, this is also the people, that he chooses. Guilty. Being watched, stalker. I think there's going to be people that will feel that he is really to blame for this. And he needs to, once again, this looks like a warning to me with that of being careful. Because I think the guilty and the stalker is somebody that is going to feel like all these things that he's doing make F47 guilty. And it's kind of a creepy vibe. Like you got somebody creeping after you. Two crimes connected. Purposely disappeared. I think they're going to try and hide or cover information regarding perhaps these cuts to funding, although I don't know how they would entirely do that because everyone knows that they did. But this looks like, the people that try and help him cover things up um, and hide evidence, kind of his cleaning crew. And two crimes, well, he's cutting funds, so what's he doing with what that money? Where's he shifting it to? Um, that's another thing about that when I think back to that Two of Pentacles in the first reading. Money, juggling it, taking from these allotted funds and then saying, maybe we don't know where that money went that was cut for that funding now to put it back. Maybe it's something like that. I think it's going to really wind people up and not just lefties, who are the ones that have routinely chosen to act. They have been people that grew up and that identified as Republican. Now, it's not to say that somebody Democratic couldn't do it. There's kooks in all parties, but that party right now is on fire with crazy. Here we have world, end of situation, or buried. And please find me something that is buried. The truth. I think once again, they're going to try to bury the truth here. And people are going to have to be very committed to screenshotting, archiving, even though they're going to say, oh, that's fake, blah, 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 blah. At some point, people are going to wake up. Not everyone, but more people will. It reminds me of the dream that I had of COVID, but it's also this period of time. COVID's the start of it. This is another major chunk, I think, of waking people needing to wake up. And depending on how people respond, the lesson gets harder. These people that resisted the truth about COVID, unfortunately, we get the extended challenge now going on with 2.0. Let's just see, what else will I look at? How about this? Is Trump going to be less than 2 years in office? Is he going to be less than 2 years in power? This term, is it going to be half or less? No. Is it going to be less than 2 years? Is it going to be less than half of the total? Is that likely? Is his term, while he's in power, going to be less than 2 years? Let's just see what we get with the investigative deck. Organized meeting. Paired with freedom. I think so. I think so. And perhaps, the message is during this time, there's going to be people getting organized to defend freedom. and coming together, more people uniting. That would be nice. Well-funded operation. Well, he's certainly getting rich and getting the billionaires in his pocket. But we also get the card of undercover. Well-funded operation and somebody that's undercover. There could be a leaker. Exposed secrets. Look at that. Somebody's going to be leaking things. Fight, conflict, argument. So exposed secrets, and it's going to cause, or possibly be about conflict. And I'm sure that there will be confrontation and argument, conflict about it. Could also be exposed secrets of where there's arguments going on. That are very revealing, maybe more personal. And the card of temperance comes and says, no, this is too much. The angel of balance wants to come in and help guide a variety of means to bring balance back to a situation that's well out of control, paired with tunnel or underground. I think it's bringing underground activity that is malignant to balance. And just like an imbalance of things that are under the surface, maybe not so readily seen for what they are, complete and close up. But it feels like there's this influence of balance that's going to come in to balance this, to expose him and get him out of there. There is authority, the powers of authority, and we get dark web or recorded. So authority, I feel like, is recorded. That could also be compromise. DNA evidence. Don't know about that, but we'll just put it there. And some kind of trade. And this to me could be blackmail, hostage, or trade with DNA evidence. But we'll just leave it there. Know too much, want to talk. To me, these are people, I think, that he's used and abused, that have goods on him. And strategy and planning. Especially his strategy and planning, what he wants to do. People there's going to want to talk about what he's doing. And that brings judgment, okay? That brings consequences. A harsh sentence. Would this be actual sentencing? Body is hidden. Maybe he'll try and hide or avoid a harsh sentence, which is typical. But there's also all the people that helped him, accomplice or had help, heavy burden carried, and he's responsible and they're responsible. There's a lot to go around. The people that had their hands involved in this. There are going to be people that are going to say they don't know what they're talking about, deny, I think, um, denying, not involved, unaware, drugged, or poisoned. That could be things that are shown if somebody's like compromat, if somebody's passed out and they're showing someone being inappropriate. It kind of sounds like that. I feel like this evidence, please find me, check the timing. It is going, I feel like, going to happen and unfold the way I guess it's meant to. Um, and there is a timeline, and we are on his timeline of judgment. I keep getting that. Repeat offender. That might actually matter this time. Crime of passion or desire. Yeah. The gaping hole, that insatiable need of power and to feel like he's, uh, uh, you know, powerful and wealthy. And he will continue to do this. He shouldn't be pardoned. He's going to continue to do this. He needs to be really truly be given a sentence that is appropriate to the crime. Suspicious activity and deal organized. So the deals that he makes, I think, are going to be watched. They are doing that, but there are going to be people that want to out, that want to talk, that want out, and wrong direction. Maybe they're going to feel like that some of this stuff is just way too crossing a line to them. They may not be great people themselves necessarily, but I think for some of these people, especially those that kind of go in undercover, it's just them purposefully hiding things. They need to find where he's putting place things out of the picture. Yeah, I think he has little hidden hidey holes, and they need to dig a little bit. And here comes payback with the Wheel of Fortune. People want something was seen, people opening up, I think, and perhaps being, again, maybe more willing to speak about other things that they don't feel was right. Marks left behind. Ransom or note left. I think, again, it's going to be their own demands and things are going to be very just damning and illegal. Here we get the emperor. That's Trump. Staged, set up, and we get framing or framed. So I feel like that's him staging things, setting people up, and framing people. And I think that's going to get exposed. Drain. Actually, he's built up the swamp. So maybe people will start to realize that's what he's done that didn't cop on. And behind closed doors, people are going to want to know what he was doing. Put in a room or place. Maybe this is to do with the hidden evidence and things like that. Delays or sacrifice. I think it's just maybe a delay in finding some things that would be evidence that would be very, very damning for him. That remains a possibility. And it does. It looks like he's got these could be uh, hidden investments or whatever. But yeah, he's done some things he shouldn't be doing, and it looks like he's just going to be exposed. Um, and there's going to be a lot going on. So I guess we'll just have to sit back where we can and watch things blow up in his face. And it's not going to be easy because, like I said, he's going to try and have us going on the old roller coaster like he already is. So that's why a little bit of detachment, despite concern, is necessary, because there's going to be a lot of this yo-yo stuff. All right. So that's my reading for looking at this air crash again, and Trump's longevity as a lame duck president. Doesn't look very good for him. Okay. Looks like he's going to get in a lot of trouble, and the people around him. If you appreciate readings like this, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video or live on Sunday at 3 p.m. West Coast time. Bye.